So we're here in Crete. We got a rental car. We went to McDonald's because we figured it would be the fastest option because it's kind of in the middle of the day and we don't want to miss a bunch of stuff. It's actually only 9 o'clock in the morning, but
everything
closes
early.
Yes. So we were come here
in the winter.
We'd come here and we were planning on doing some ultra prominent peaks, but they're buried in snow. So we're going to skip the one that we're supposed to do today and drive up to check it out later tonight and see how horrible it'll be, because we might still attempt it. But we're only going to do one. We'll just do the tallest one on the island. So we're doing a bad job at filming, but this is the Comosis or something archaeological site. I'll show you how it's spelled here. They have peacocks. This is the name. I actually had no idea that this place existed. Somehow I missed this on all the guidebooks and I found out about it in a museum in Malta. So we said, oh, we should go there. This was the facade. They rebuilt that section, but the marble below is all original. And then this over here is the west porch, which is the official entrance. This was called the South House. It was where a fancy man used to live, to put it briefly. Basically, they're big storerooms. This is the throne room.
If it what?
Follows us to the parking lot. We're going home with it.
Those paws, he's just biscuiting it away. Oh!
Actually, our new best friend here. So all of this is reconstructions that, per the audio guide thing that we're listening to, were done relatively poorly. This is one of the more modern restorations that they did back in 2023. And you can tell because it looks like they did a much better job. I think I've done a poor job of explaining this. So basically, this archaeological site, very cool. But some man named Sir Arthur Evans in the 1920s, specifically 1928, came around and decided that he was going to restore everything and make it great. Well, he did a really bad job. So a lot of it just feels like a bad version of Disneyland. But then you get to sections like this, where it was actually well done and nice, and you go, oh, that's cool, but then you still can't, like, even get up close to them to see what they did inside, so basically, what I'm saying is, we think it's a really cool archaeological site, but compared to a lot of the ones that we had been to, we're not super impressed. It still is very cool though. Don't get me wrong. Enjoying, appreciating, etc., etc. He's peacocking. Look at him go.
So cool. Did you hear it?
It hasn't made it in the video yet either, but here's a rental car. It's a Fiat 500 hybrid convertible, but it's one generation older than the one that we have at home, so it's all very different on the inside. I like ours better, but I wish ours had the soft top because the soft top is sick.
Okay.
The slowest car I've ever driven, with one exception. The orange Fiat 500 that we had may have been slower.
Look at the clouds though, they're so pretty.
And for our next stop, dun 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 da da da. So, despite my phone camera dying a death 1,000 times every time I try to use it, this area here, yes, that's one. This was built in 300 BC, whereas the rest of the palace was built in around 1900 BC. And when this was built, this was all actually in ruin and just gone. So, through much digging, they found it all. And this is it. This is another palace. Here's a representation of what the area at the top of those stairs that we just looked at looks like, or used to look like. They got us. They filled this in with concrete, so that way it would be supported. And then they put all the things inside. It's still pretty cool though. Way less invasive. I also just stepped in that puddle and now my foot's soaked. So that's pretty cool. All that to look in an empty room. So here in the north wing, they had the royal apartments. It's a little hard to tell, but you get the idea. They actually made these tools here, and they had a potter's wheel here. This is where the queen stayed. It's the queen's magaron or something. It's a little apartment and hall. Big fancy. Continuing onward from living like queen. Cute. We have this side.
Is it over here?
Chelsea says look at over there, and I agree with her. Let's go look at over there. My mistake. This is the king's side, not the queen. So they had a wall. They slept in separate beds. Things must have not been going well between them.
So,
Well, we came to here because there was an archaeological site by a beach. There you go. There's the site. Obviously we can't go, but here's the beach. Beach is pretty good. Beach is real good, actually.
promise he's not dead, but I like rocks.
I figured I would stop and show you guys some more of the archaeological site. It's pretty cool. We drove a little further down the road, but dang, the cats are into this RV. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Heck. These are the hippie caves. Apparently a bunch of hippies used to live in them, per the lady at the rental car counter. So, a bit interesting.
I'm wearing the perfect shirt.
What a hippie. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Like, okay.
Time. So we were in a parking lot and there were tons of cats everywhere. There was a cat that had a Hitler mustache. So I was like, oh my gosh, Robert, you need to come here and look at this. And the guy was painting
One of the restaurants.
Yeah, one of the restaurants. And he goes, here's cats over here. And I was like, oh, we love cats. We have 2 at home. And then what did he say?
He said, oh, you need to have children.
And basically in his own words proceeded to tell us, like, you need to be making children because of the war.
It was pretty great.
It was great. And then we were like, we're on our honeymoon. And he goes, oh, congratulations. Now you can make kids. Probably one of my favorite conversations. Just this little Greek man fixing up his shop during the off season, just talking to tourists. It's great.
We got a normal salad on accident.
So I got the lamb. I think Robert got pork and then some type of gyro.
Good morning. We're in the Fiat. It's very cold. It's very early. We're gonna try to go for a hike. But we're on our way right now. Check out this view.
Alright, so you can see that floofy patch of wonderfulness. That's a mountain.
That Cretan powder. We're gonna climb it.
Are we? It's
We're
pretty jammed
We're
back.
giving it an earnest attempt because I set out to do it, and so let me explain. When I was researching this online, it seems like sometimes it's climbable year-round, sometimes it isn't. It seems like February, which is right now, is the worst time of the year to climb said mountain. But that's what we're going to try to do. It's not a life goal of mine or anything, so if we don't get it today, there's a good chance we'll never be back here to try it again. So we figure, why not give it a shot?
I'm just here. And these mountain roads and views, they're pretty good. I don't think they're moving, bud. No, they do not care. Oh, look at this road.
Well, it's all gone now, but it was the shittiest road I've ever driven on because all those things you saw, those were poop from the sheep. And it's been like that for miles. So I wanted to get out, walk around, and take a video of as to why we're not continuing. But this is a sheet of ice right there, and I almost died. So yeah, we're turning around. We're like a mile away from the trailhead, and the road looks like this. So I'm just gonna guess that climbing this mountain today in these conditions with a Fiat 500 as your rental car is just not gonna be a thing, because on these little like snowbanks, it keeps just bottoming out too. So yeah, I also have to poop. You didn't need to know that, but it's a real problem all of a sudden. There's this little hut that we passed on the way down. We got the ram skull with the Santa hat, obligatory. It's got a little door. I'm not gonna go in because I don't wanna. We got our rental car, probably the worst possible option for this type of road. And we got the sunrise and the mountains, and it's just a great time. Despite our unsuccessful attempts to make it to the top of the mountain, you're still going to see all of the cool views on the way down, because on the drive up, there were lots of cool views. There's our mountain in question. But not today. Not today. Honestly, this guy needs to get back to work. I'm not sure what he's doing. We're back on the world's shittiest road. I mean, look at it. It's literally, all of the brown that you see is actual poop.
From sheep.
From sheep. It's all just sheep poop. And it just keeps going and going and going.
Oh shit.
It's ridiculous. Also, the drive times here are ridiculous too. It's going to take us an hour to go effectively 20 miles. Archaeological museum in the actual middle of nowhere. This thing's cool though. It's a bronze shield from the 9th century BC. A bunch of iron tools, a funny shaped perfume bottle. I like this effect. It rotates so you can actually see it.
Looks like an object.
This museum goes through the entire history of this town from 3000 BC all the way to the 1400s. The Byzantines took over early here in the 5th century, and then the Arab conquest happened and they abandoned the city in like the 780 region. And then they came back after the island was retaken in like 950, and then the Byzantines banned settlement in this area during the 14th century. So interesting. So this ivory carving is about 1,600 years old. But look at it.
I see.
So one, I like how they have the replicas of the originals that they found. But Chell would like me to inform you of the fun backstory behind these. They were originally used on tripods as bowls for offerings to the gods. But when they found them, they were covering up urns in the warriors' tombs. So there's your fun fact. This whole room is dedicated to like the religious objects that they found. I'm not going to read it, but this story is very interesting. The museum inspired us to see a couple of the archaeological sites in the area as well. So we drove down to the very first one, which is the, oh man, I don't know how to say that, Orthe Petra archaeological site. And unfortunately, despite the sign saying they open at 10 and it being 10:30, no one's here, gate's locked. So you can see down into it sort of from the hill. So we're gonna drive back up and look at it. Also, because of the poop roads, the car is actually covered in poop. Like on both sides. It's really gross. And it smells. And Shell loves it. Unfortunately, this is about as good as we're gonna get today. We're gonna try to get up on top of the mountain now and go to the Acropolis, but the odds don't feel in our favor. So we're making our way downtown to the Acropolis now. Hopefully this works. I don't know. We've been having bad luck recently. Chell got poop on her leg from the car. She's very mad about it.
Trying to be happy seeing the song.
Now, I don't want to get my hopes up, but it does look like we're approaching an Acropolis, and it doesn't look like there's anything to stop us from touching it. So, great. I remember when we were there. Felt like just yesterday. So I was mistaken, per this sign. This is the tower, and the Acropolis and all the other fun stuff is that way. So we're gonna give her a little bit more of a walk and see what's up. Okay, so we didn't find the Acropolis yet, but we did find the ancient cisterns. Check these out. These bad boys could hold so much water in them. I kinda wanna go in, but it also looks really sketchy and scary in there. Fit so much water in this bad boy. We also saw these olive trees. They're quite cool. We're gonna keep on the quest to find the ancient Acropolis. Here's one of the old aqueduct tunnels from the cistern. It just kind of looks like a boring old cave. Believe it or not going in this one but Chell said that she would volunteer to get up in there.
No.
We found some ruins on the other side of the valley. That might be the Acropolis. If that's the case, we're on the wrong side of the valley, so that might be a while to get there. Chalice and I have done some soul searching. We've decided that we don't really want to go down and up over the valley to see some more piles of rocks. So we've decided to get back, well, head back to the car so we could go look at different piles of rocks in different areas. Look at this little church that we found while driving. Also, we went to another tavern. This one looked gross, but was probably going to be fine. But what happened, Jill?
The dude didn't know how to work the card reader, and we don't have cash. Also, I'm pretty sure that their generation after them, so like their kids or grandkids or whatever, they're the ones who work and talk with Americans. And they're just not there.
Or foreigners during the summers.
Yeah, that's what
we're running into the don't visit in the off-season problem, but aside from being very hungry, it's fine. Welcome to the Arakadi, I don't know, monastery. Built in 1572, and an important place during the Cretan Revolution, and it operated a manuscript and gold embroidery workshop, and the manuscripts and gold embroidered things are in the museum. There it is. And hopefully we're going to be going inside, though nothing is promised in this world. Welcome to the inside of the monastery. There was no one to pay the admission fee to, so we're just walking in, and hopefully it's not cash only, because that'll be a problem, but... We found a little museum. All of these pieces of artwork are between 400 and 500 years old, which is crazy because like they're all on wood. This is the oldest book here at 437 years old. These all modern ones are ranging with the newest one being from 1833, but they're all from Venice in this case. This one has a note written by a priest when the Germans invaded in 1941. This is another one of those read it yourself moments, so pause it if you want to, but it's the backstory of this building. I have a display of weapons from the period. It started raining, so all the cats are taking a break from being cute.
Oh, that looks good.
Jeez.
We stopped at a tiny little bakery.
We got some tiny little cakes.
So this is Oreo and this is Black Forest. You excited?
Jill's working out. There's workout equipment in the park.
This is like the 5th one we've passed.
This is what we flew to Greece for, to do this exactly. I forgot to mention, we just got to an old town after eating some lunch, and there's a big castle here that's temporarily closed, like for the season, so we're just gonna walk around outside. We found a secret passageway next to the road, which is way more chill. You can't even hear the cars down here. It's great. Castle's still up there though. Got Oaken over there. That color's crazy looking. We got all sorts of sea life. We got, oh, she's entered the sea. She's part of the sea life now. The castle sure is a castle, but now we got a rainbow. It's hard to see, but it's there, I promise. Well, we may have been screwing around unnecessarily because it looks like this place is actually open.
No, there's a...
Well, great news. It actually is open and Google Maps was wrong. Google Maps likes to be wrong on this trip about basically everything and anything. And now it's raining and we didn't bring our rain jackets. Planning and forethought. Actually, I did plan. I planned to come here and just walk around. But hey, I digress. The good news is for no reason at all. No reason whatsoever. This site is open an hour later than every other site in the country. So, despite it being 3:20, we actually have an hour.
And 10 minutes.
And I don't think we're going to use the whole thing because we're going to go real fast because it is really cold, windy, and rainy. It's very windy and cold and rainy. But we're pretending to have a good time, right, Jill? Oh, she's going to jump. Ah. There's the arch. Still just an empty castle with rain and wind. We paid 10 euros to get in here. Not really sure how this made it on like my list of cool things to do, but it did. Oh look, cannons. Honey, don't forget to bring the cannons inside, they'll rust.
Also look, the flowers. No!
Chell, how did you get hurt today?
My foot went like this.
She stepped on a small rock.
And then I went down.
On her knee.
On my knee and my cat, like, oh, it was really funny, but I was like cry laughing. So
I have a fun war story about today as well. When I showed you the video of the necropolis earlier, I got back in the car and the door decided to slam itself shut on my ankle. So I'm still feeling that one. So today is a day. One of the buildings is open. It's empty. But it's kind of cool. It's got a dome. It's got some echo. It's got a fireplace. It's got a shell. Tree building.
good morning. I look and I feel like a potato. A Mrs. Potato Head. Where you going? You know? Anyways, what do you have to say, sir?
Eat and go for a walk outside early in the morning because everything closed early on island, so we wake up at 5 a.m. But that makes tired for no good reason, even though we go to bed at 8 p.m.
And apparently my husband is a caveman. Good morning.
So we made it to our hike after 2 hours of driving. And we've made the executive decision based on the sign that says, don't hike this after heavy rainfall, to not hike it after heavy rainfall because it doesn't seem like it's worth it. So what we're going to do, and thankfully this was on the way to where I'm about to say anyway, is there's a big city with an archaeological museum. So we're going to hit that, and then we're going to do some other archaeological sites that I found. And there's another gorge hike that we can do later in the day after it clears up because it's supposed to stop raining here shortly and then be nice for the rest of the day.
It's been raining non-stop, like off and on since we've been here too.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do another gorge later. I found too many hikes and stuff to do today anyway, so yeah, there you go. There's your tour of the Cretans Gorge. Let's see, it says number 2. After heavy rains, do not attempt to walk through the gorge. It's the Archaeological Museum. So we saw these things everywhere. We didn't know what they were. Turns out these are old coffins. How interesting. I don't know if we're just becoming jaded because we've been to too many museums, but that museum kind of felt like a dud. So now we're here at the beach. Just throwing stuff.
I tried to skip it. I can't skip rocks.
So as we were careening down our little windy road here, we stumbled across another monastery, so we figured, hey, why not? Let's check it out.
Oh, honey.
So what do you think? Pretty good for a random roadside stop. Just driving along, and honestly, the aesthetic is pretty good here. We got the sheeps bat in the way. Heck yeah. It's the worst car for this. But the aesthetic with the convertible top down is actually great.
It is. It is great because you get to just see the sky and everything.
Let me be clear. I'd much rather be in a Miata.
This man's love for Miatas is just, it's unmatched. Yeah. Like, I think you love Miatas more than you love me.
It could be. We actually just made it to the ancient town of Itanos. Are you excited, Chell? Are you gonna get your its a nost? Let's go. We actually have no idea what we're doing, but here's some old ruins. That's pretty cool. All right, I have no information about anything at this archaeological site at all. It's a full DIY adventure, but it's honestly one of my favorites that we've been to because we're completely alone and it's a full DIY adventure with no ropes stopping you from doing ridiculous things. Look at this, look at this, look at here. This is where we keep the columns. They're just hanging out. There's so many of them. What is this? I mean, this used to be the old basilica, so we know what this is, but it's all just here. How neat. I figured out what it is. Nobody messed with this site. Like, everything that's here is just like, here. It's whatever. I think it's Byzantine era, but I'll look it up. Hang on, give me a second. Turns out I was dramatically wrong. It was 10th century BC to 6th century AD. So like, this place is between 3,000 and also 1,400 years old. So it was inhabited for longer of a period of time than we are away from the end of its inhabitation, which is a fun fact for you. Look at this though. It's Chell. Chell would like me to inform you about the really cool rocks over here. And I agree with her. They're very cool. Like, actually. Chell had to stop at another beach. It's a good beach. So we arrived at our next stop, but unfortunately, due to a strike, despite being within the hours and all that, it's closed. So here's I'll give you some highlights as we drive by. Due to a creative standing/sitting arrangement, I am able to capture the bulk of the site. I'm going to zoom in even further so we can get more detail. Up in the background, there's a cool cave. Now I know what you're thinking. How did you get all these photos? Yes. Also, I found out about a wind deflector. Look at this. That would have been fun to know a day ago. We actually got something that looks different for dinner. We're hiking the Dead Man's Gorge. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a scary name. Yes, the reason why is because there's a bunch of old Mayanician tombs cut in here. I got my socks wet earlier, so we're rocking the flip-flops today on this beautiful hike. There's already a lot of rocks in them. There's a lot of poop on the ground, so I gotta be extra careful. Good views though. Cool canyon. This is a certified cool tree alert, certified by none other than Shell. There's a small creek crossing, no real good way to get across. So I threw a small rock in for Chell to step on, and her was all wet now because the rock rolled, because she was a fan of rock and roll.
And he goes, just make sure it's stable. And I was like, oh, I'll be a good wifey and make sure it's stable for my husband.
Oh, I was just gonna walk through because I'm wearing sandals. I didn't really care if my feet got wet. The trail gets a little spicy. And now I'm actually second guessing the whole doing it backwards thing, if it's gonna look like this. Climbing up out of the gorge now. Past our recommended route, but it looks like it's a loop. So, with not any daylight to spare, we're gonna send it anyway. My feet killing me, but that's okay. Here's the archaeological site. I've never been in this much pain in my entire life.
I have.
Well, with my feet. My feet hurt really bad. Just made it back to the car. I have a 3-hour drive to get to the hotel. Not stoked, but here we go. We had to go out to get something to eat because we were hungry. So I got this skewer with chicken wrapped in bacon. We got a salad and some fries. It's pretty good. Hello and welcome. We're going to the Heraklion Archaeological Museum in the big city on our last day here in Crete, and it's going to be fun. We have 1 hour. I don't know if there's going to be enough time. There's so much here. We're only in the first room. This is the time period when they moved from small communities into whole towns. And they got a whole lot of stuff about it. All the seals. Some 4,000-year-old fruit juicers. How cool. And a pot with holes in it. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe also juicing fruit, probably. So town mosaics. Look at all the bronze. They had a cult called the Cult of the Double Axe. Almost all of this is from that Knossos archaeological site that we were a bit disappointed with. I think Jill and I would have appreciated it more if we came. So this is when the Myetians came to Crete, and the end of the Minoan period ends, and the first instances of written Greek are here. 15 minutes remaining, and we're on the second floor now. Not enough time to see all this cool stuff. These are all paintings and reliefs from like 3,000 years ago. So this is all from the time period of just before the Parthenon was built to around 600 years before that. We've come into the coin room now. So cool. They have these maps of where the coins were minted because each city would mint their own coins. Look at all of these. So cool. All through Turkey, down to Egypt. We're actually out of time now, and we just got into the final room, which is the statue room. And it is so cool. And we are not gonna have time to actually look at anything. But also, look, hey, there's Hadrian. He just keeps coming up. I think they really liked the guy here. So we're just sadly walking back to the car, and just randomly under this building, there's just old archaeological stuff, which is cray-cray. Look at this. I'm glad we came this way.